Hello, Michael Hines, naturalrefrigerants.com. I am here in Padua, Italy, on the sidelines of ATMO Europe 2025. And at the desk, I'm joined by Jakob Terčon, Business Development Manager at Zudek. Zudek, as we all know, big in the ammonia space. And Zudek, well, for those who weren't here, they presented in not one, but two sessions. So that was refrigeration case studies and HVAC and heat pump market trends. And Jakob, I was hoping you could just run through the highlights of those two sessions, starting with refrigeration case studies.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be present at ATMO as every year, basically. So in the first session, we present a case study that we did in Pedavena brewery in the north part of the Veneto region where we are based now. So basically what we did for Pedavena, it was a two-step installations. At first, we tend to maximize the energy efficiency of the combined heat and power plant, meaning that they have a combined heat and power plant where they did not use the low temperature hot water from the engine jackets. So they are self-producing the electricity. The exhaust fumes are going to basically for the production of superheated water. And then they were wasting basically hot water at 90 degrees in the atmosphere, which is quite precious water and a quite precious source of thermal energy. So we designed a custom-made absorption chiller that is basically almost zero electricity consumption, running on almost zero electricity consumption and not water usage. And we recover the heat at 90 degrees in order to feed the absorption chiller and produce glycol at -6 for the cooling utilities of the brewery. Okay. And the condensation occurs with river water that is flowing nearby. So we don't use cooling towers or evaporate condenser, which basically reduce to zero the water consumption of the condensing circuit.
Very important. Cutting water consumption always. And for those who aren't familiar, this is a quite large brewery, right?
Yeah, this is a very historical brewery. They were established in the late 19th century by Luciani brothers, which are the same family as Pope Luciani. So it's a quite interesting story. Then they were bought by Heineken. Then they passed to Birra Castello, and now they are basically still under Birra Castello, which is a company from Udine, also from our region. And so the first step I was mentioning was about heat recovery. Then in the second step, we basically also replaced the still existing F-gas chiller that was installed in parallel with back in the days by another company with the existing ammonia plant that they have. And we install our compact plug and play also water cooled unit in order to fully basically decarbonize the installation and reconvert all the installation on glycol rather than ammonia. So we increase the efficiency and we reduce also the ammonia charge within the plant.
Okay. And switching gears here, we have HVAC and heat pump market trends. What were the highlights from the Zudek portion?
Well, let's say the highlight, this presentation was done by Ivan Zudek. So the highlight was that we need to focus on sustainability, but of course, in order to be sustainable, you need also to be efficient. Of course, ammonia provides both sustainability and efficiency. So you are sustainable from an environmental point of view, but you're also sustainable from a financial point of view because you are lowering tremendously the operating cost of your installation. And this is what we should be looking at. So, the capex of installation, which is with ammonia technology, may be higher than the others. But then if you're looking at the total cost of ownership and on the operating expenses of your plant with ammonia, you drastically reduce the electricity consumption. So we need to, also because of the very strong competition that is coming from other parts of the world, being Chinese cheaper products or being trade barriers coming from the American continent, let's say we need to focus on cutting edge, high quality technology, especially in the European market. This is what we basically are pioneering with ammonia solution. And this is what our companies, meaning European companies, should be focusing on also going forward.
Gotcha. And I don't know if you want to, launch from that example or use another one for this final question, but anything, you're seeing in the market in terms of trends, new developments, or any new products, company news you'd like to promote, anything you'd like to share?
But let's say that as Zudek, we were born as a refrigeration company, but 2-3 years from now, we have already seen that we are not just in the refrigeration industry, but rather in a energy industry. So when we visit a customer, we tend to analyze, yes, the cooling demand, but also the heating demand, because of course they are combined, and we are talking about efficiency from energy efficiency as a whole, not just for cooling. So now we have the largest ammonia solution portfolio that you can offer on the market, meaning chillers, so water and air-cooled chillers, meaning absorption chillers, and meaning also heat pumps. Okay, so we can basically deliver with ammonia 95 degrees hot water and -40 cooling. Okay, so a very wide range on temperature and capacities. The news from this year, I would say that we established Zudek International in London, in UK. This is like a sales subsidiary, basically looking after the British market and also overseas expansion outside Europe. Then we have started some partnership with some distributors around Europe and around the world as well. So Climatherm in Sweden, Refricomp in Spain and Portugal, and the ARE, ammonia refrigeration equipment for South Africa.
Okay.
Last but not least, we are also expanding our production capabilities with a new facility. Always in Trieste, where our headquarters is and where our engineering and manufacturing department was established, and we stay.
What's the timeline for that new facility?
Well, first half of the next year.
Okay. And can you share anything about what production will increase by with that new facility, or is that for later?
But that's for later.
Okay, for later it is. Well, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.